गुड इवनिंग फूडीज़, माय नेम इज़ गस्सान अंजुम और आज मैं आप लोग को एक रेसिपी बताने जा रहा हूँ. इट्स कॉल्ड माय झटपट कौरमा रेसिपी. इट्स अ वेरी सिंपल प्रोसेस विच आई यूज्ड टू डू इन माय कॉलेज डेज. इट्स अ 3 प्रोसेस कुकिंग वेयर यू मैरिनेट, ग्राइंड एंड पैन इट. अब इंग्रेडिएंट्स आपके सामने हैं. इंग्रेडिएंट्स में हमने क्या यूज़ किया है कि हियर यू सी is marinated chicken, about 1 kilo of chicken, where we have marinated this with 400 grams of yogurt, and we have used a mixed korma masala for mixing in the marinade. Now in the next process we will explain to you how the marination happens using your 5 senses, which are my fingers. On your left you see is basically where we use the base, where we get our base gravy from, जिसमें कि हम लोगों ने करीब 4-5 प्याज यूज़ किए हैं. एंड देन वी यूज्ड अबाउट 3 tomatoes actually, and about 12 green chilies. We've used a bunch full of garlic cloves, as well as about 2 inch of ginger. And apart from this, we are going to cook this in clarified ghee, and I've also used lal mirch. As you can see, I love my food spicy, so I'm going to use sukhi lal mirch, dry red chilies, about 10 of them for the gravy. Now in the next process we will explain to you how the marination happens with these ingredients right here. So first we are going to marinate the chicken. What you see here is about 400 grams of yogurt. You whip it nicely so that it becomes into a fine paste form. Now following to this, what we're going to do is quickly add, this is the masala that I've purchased, Shan Korma masala, and I'm going to add about 3/4 of the packet of this. So 3/4 of the packet of Shan masala, and I'll mix it to my yogurt very well. Smell is awesome. You can squeeze a couple of lemon as well if you'd like. I just like mine a little less tangier than that, a little less sour, I would say, a little more masala, and we are good. अब इसमें हम डालते हैं chicken. I have used 1 kg chicken here. I like marinating with my hands since it brings up all the 5 senses and helps you gauge as to how the masala is. Nice and easy, so that the chicken is nicely covered in the masala. Yogurt थोड़ा ज़्यादा use किया है इसमें because that is what korma is all about. Korma is basically meat in yogurt sauce. So mix it well until it blends. Now we keep this aside for an hour. अब हम आ गए हैं अपने step 2 of cooking, where we grind. So what we do is we add the bigger pieces of pyaz first, like this, into the grinder, followed by the tomatoes, green chilies. Now in case आपको लगे कि if you're not up to chopping and peeling off the ginger and garlic, आप सिंपल जिंजर गार्लिक पेस्ट का एक टेबल स्पून यूज़ कर सकते हैं. जिंजर का 1 स्पून यूज़ कर लीजिए पेस्ट का, और एक टेबल स्पून आप गार्लिक का यूज़ कर लीजिए फॉर मेकिंग द ग्रेवी. सो ये जब हमने ऐड कर दिया है, सो नाउ व्हाट वी डू इज़ वी ऐड सम वाटर to the gravy, about a cup of water, and then now comes the mixing process. Mind you, mix it to a very fine paste. So now we have grinded this for almost 2 minutes, and this is how the consistency of your thick paste should look like. Now we will get on to panning and cooking. Now that we've done the marination and we've done the grinding part of it, so we'll start with the panning part of it. So what we do is from our ingredients we will take roughly about 6 to 7 tablespoons of ghee in a hot pan. Let it simmer for a little while, let the oil get a little hot. Once my oil starts taking the heat, I'm going to add the red chilies that I had shown you in the ingredients part of it. What you have to do is just tear the red chilies from between and add them to your gravy. Let it splutter, that's the noise we like. This not only brings in a little spice factor into the gravy, but also brings in a beautiful aroma. And we mix it a little bit just to give it a little dab on it. And once you start seeing that the red chilies have started to take in the heat, is when we add the grinded gravy base that we made. Right from the grinder. Beautiful. Mix it well. As you can see, the color is a little light brownish in the slight browning is coming, because slight darkness is because of the tomatoes that we've added. And what we do is we just add a little bit of water to the container. And we add this to the gravy. Mix the gravy base a little bit. Let this heat up for a while. Sorry. Now what we do is we cover this up and make sure that the onion has to become a little brownish in color. I'll show you the end color, how the onion, like you can see the color right now. It's a little on the lighter side. Once it becomes dark, and that is when the bhuna masala is ready. Now this bhuna masala basically can be used for literally anything. We are using a Jhatpat Korma recipe. The same thing I have used in the format of kadhai chicken, kadhai gosht. I've used it in the form of chicken masala, gosht masala. The only difference between chicken and meat would be that you will have to, I mean, if you'd like it to be quick, then you can always cook meat in a pressure cooker. But what I've done here is I've used my electric pan and I'm cooking it, simmering it basically, because it's chicken, so it doesn't take much time. But if the same thing you'd like to make it in mutton, it's preferable that you use pressure cooker if you are in a hurry. If you are not, then you can do the same dum style that you usually practice. I mean, you usually practice as per anyone's recipe. So I'm just going to cover this and let it cook for a while. Alright guys, so now I've been simmering the masala for almost 20 minutes, and this is the color that has to come out of it. As you can see, my onions have turned pretty much on the brown side. So now at this point, I'm going to add my marinated chicken. Chicken has been nice and marinated. So I make sure I get all the marinade in, because that's the flavor pending. And then we go mix the marinated chicken with our grinded masalas in a perfect color. Make sure you mix it well before you top it off with water and cover it. Perfect dish for a bachelor's life or a bachelorette's life. And now you can see that my chicken is very well mixed with the grinded masalas, so we add some water to it. Probably just give it a little bit more mix and let probably the gravy simmer a little bit more. Well, this is the time. Add enough water so that the chicken is covered and cooks fine in this gravy. So now that your chicken is totally immersed, once it comes to a boil, we should cover it. So as you can see that the water has started to come to a boil. At this point, I shall cover my dish and let the chicken simmer for a while. Now I had been simmering my gravy for almost 15 minutes, and it depends on you. If you'd like your gravy to be a little more thick, you can have it a bit more thick, but I like to have a bit more gravy. And as you can see, I'll just keep this lid on the side. As you can see that our chicken is very well done, and this is what our korma looks like. Hopefully it looks like the ones we had in our different shadis and all. And yes, the chicken is very well tender, and I think this korma is very well done and smells awesome. So what we do from here, your korma is done. I mean, basically when I was a bachelor, I used to dig in my spoon right there, put my rotis on my plate and have it there. The important thing over here you have to remember is if the salt content has to be watched. Obviously the Shan Korma masala has already salt in it, but in case you need a little more salt, you can add more salt, and that's how it's done. And this is how the whole dish should look like. And if you'd like it a bit more thick, you can simmer it more with an open lid and make it more thick. I guess the oiling content and the gravy and everything has turned out quite well according to me, but then the rest depends on your comments. And so we'll do the final plating now.